I'm sorry we can't do business together today, Mr. Graham. But I'll catch up with you one of these days. Goodbye.
Take care.
Yeah, honey, it's me. Nope, I blew it. Yeah, I thought it was all wrapped up, but it just didn't work out that way. Oh, come on. You win some, you lose some. Well, look, don't worry. We'll eat. I'll be home in about 20 minutes. Huh? Oh, not that again. Yeah, I'll swing by and pick up Tommy. I don't know why that kid is wasting his time with hockey when he can't even get his schoolwork done. Look, I'll see you later.
No, Dan. Now, that isn't the way I showed you. If you're going to slap the puck, you've got to do it right. Here, watch. Hey, Tommy, why that gloomy look? You were terrific today. Come on, tell me. What's the matter?
I might not be coming back next year.
Are you kidding? You're one of our best right-wingers.
It's like this. My dad doesn't think I ought to be playing hockey. Thinks I ought to be studying or something like that.
I see. Is your dad picking you up today? Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll have a talk with your dad. You go find my son, Blake, keep out of mischief, and I'll see what I can do, okay?
Sure.
Attaboy, Tony. Okay, gang, just one more thing. What did we learn out there today about hockey? Skating! What else? Shooting! And another? Dancing! But what's the one most important thing that we have to remember every moment we're out on that ice?
Tommy! Tommy! Tommy, I'm sorry I'm late. I got tied up. But come on, let's go.
This is Bobby Hall.
Now, we can give your friend a ride home, too, but come on.
Dad, this is Bobby Hall.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Hull. Thanks for taking care of my son.
Dad, this is the Bobby Hall.
Of course. I've seen you on television. Didn't you just sign a $3 million contract? Why are you spending all this time with kids?
Can you think of a better way for me to spend my time? As a matter of fact, Mr. Stafford, I think I'm obligated to work with these kids.
Well, that's fine if a man has the time.
Dad, Mr. Hall would like to speak to you.
Oh, yeah? What about? Has he been acting up?
Oh, no, nothing like that. Tommy's a good boy. Tommy, why don't you go with Blake for a little while? You think we could find a place where we could talk in private?
Well, I suppose a few minutes won't make much difference.
I get the impression, Mr. Stafford, that you're not a hockey fan.
Don.
Oh, thank you, Don.
No, that's right. No, all I know about the sport is what I see on television. I mean, I ice skated when I was a kid, but hockey was just never our sport.
I I get the impression by talking to Tommy that you don't think it should be his sport either.
Well, no, not exactly. I think kids get excited about sports. Anyway, I don't see where hockey is going to do Tommy that much good.
Well, if your mind's made up, I guess that's it.
Well, wait a minute. What do you think?
I grew up in this game, Don. And it's more than just a game on ice. To me, hockey is a training ground for life itself.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's competitive. Kids get good exercise.
Yes, and it's more than that. The important things that these kids learn from hockey, they'll carry with them for the rest of their lives. For example, self-discipline. These boys aren't here to practice on time just because they have to be. They're on time because they want to be.
Are you trying to tell me that hockey is going to make Tommy a better engineer?
Yes, I really believe that.
Well, if that analogy is true, then I ought to join your class.
As a matter of fact, Don, we do have a men's class. By the way, what kind of work do you do?
I'm a salesman. From what I read in the sports pages, you're a pretty good salesman for hockey.
Well, I believe in hockey, Don, like you believe in selling.
Oh, well, my job isn't that glamorous. No, I make a pretty good living at it, but it's getting tougher and tougher every year. My boss keeps wanting me to do better and better, no matter how well I did last year. What's so funny?
Well, I guess hockey and selling aren't that much different. See, the year I scored 50 goals, the next year, the fans and the management, they expected 55.
Well, that's exactly my point. It's the same thing in selling. If you're number one, you're always a target. Nah, I don't need that kind of extra pressure.
You sound like the guys I play with.
Yeah? How do you mean?
One of my old teammates used to score between 15 and 20 goals every year. And when I suggested that with a little extra hard work he could score 30 to 35, do you know what he told me?
No.
He said, Bobby, he said, if I score 30 goals this year, next year, he says, they're going to expect 35. You see what I mean? He was content to go along with that average of 20 goals a year. And this way, he didn't have to compete with himself.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him. Now, whether it's hockey or selling, as soon as you start competing with yourself, management demands more and more on it.
Well, why shouldn't they? If you've learned the basics, and if you've lived up to your expectations, you're going to get better every year. You've got to expect that from yourself. What are you doing anyways? Just walking through life, or are you living it?
Hey, wait a minute. I thought we were here to talk about my son.
Hold it, Don. I'm sorry. Let me tell you what hockey has meant to me, and maybe I can show you how it'll help Tommy. I was born in a little town in Ontario called Point Anne, where the population isn't even 500 people. The big difference, I guess, is that the kids there grow up on hockey, just like the kids here grow up on baseball or football. That's their whole life. There's a little school where everybody in the whole town has attended, and the cement factory where my dad worked for 47 years. And if you were to go to Point Anne during the summer, you wouldn't find anyone playing hockey. But they're running and swimming or playing baseball. They're learning the basics, the fundamentals of sport. And it all pays off on the ice. For instance, in my business, the first thing I have to learn is how to skate, and how to skate well. Believe it or not, there are many professional hockey players that never really reach their potential because they never learned how to skate properly. Now that's basic. What are the basics of selling?
Basics? Well, let's see. Well, I'll quote my sales manager. Number one, know your product. Know everything there is to know about it. Number two, know your market. Know who your customers are, how your product is going to help them. Number three, make those sales calls.
Well, I guess that's basic enough, sir. But you know, I can't see how anyone can do anything well unless they really know the basic fundamentals of it. Now, take these kids, for instance. They could never learn how to play hockey unless first they learned how to skate. And then they'd have to have that self-discipline to practice and practice and practice.
Well, a salesman practices by calling on his customers. Or sometimes practice is all he gets.
Yes, but you get better, don't you?
Oh, yeah?
Sure. Once you know those basic fundamentals, it must be just like hockey, where instinctively you know what to do.
Well, a salesman learns from experience that shortcuts don't work. You have to plan your strategy, just as though this was the only sales call you were ever going to make.
And that's where psychology is so important in your business and in mine. See, we play over 90 games every season. And each player has to get himself mentally prepared for every game.
Boy, do you think that's tough? I have to psych myself up for hundreds of sales calls every year. I have to get those competitive juices going before I go in and talk to that prospect.
In hockey, that moment of truth is that very critical face-off.
Well, I've never heard it called that in sales, but I guess it could be applied. We have to face off with a customer every time I try to prove how good my product is and how much he really needs it.
And why don't you make every sale?
Well, for the same reason you don't score every time you try to get one into the net. No, but I guess the real reason is because, well, I forget for a moment what my real purpose is. How important my product is to that customer. Yeah, I used to take that moment just before I go in and talk to a prospect to get myself totally geared for what was about to happen.
You see, you were getting prepared for that face-off. You know who taught me? My father. You know, he and Mom still live in Point Anne, and he was a pretty fair country hockey player. And you know what? He still, to this day, isn't satisfied with my performance. My, you should hear him when we get together sometime.
Say, Robert, I don't know whether you realize it or not, but you was partly to blame for that loss in Montreal the last time you was in there.
I've seen you walk in on those goaltenders, have the goalie at your mercy, and then didn't know enough to put the puck over the top and fiddling around with the puck there. With your ability and your strength, you should get 2 or 3 goals every game. Every time there's a gang from Point Anne down, you stink the joint out.
Your dad sounds just like my boss. Isn't he something? But honestly, Don, aren't you your son's biggest critic?
Well, sometimes, yeah, maybe I could give my son more time. Maybe I could concentrate on him a little more.
Do you exercise, Don?
Oh, a little golf, some swimming. I should do more.
Well, then maybe you should join my class.
Are you out of your skull?
Well, I happen to think that exercise is the best way to build up your power.
What kind of power?
Physical and mental.
Well, how do you suggest I keep up my power? By eating Bobby Hull's favorite breakfast cereal every morning.
Well, not exactly. But how about 10 minutes of exercise every morning when you get up? You know, some deep knee bends or push-ups or what have you. If you do that, I'll bet you that within a week you'll find that exercise does keep up your power. It keeps you more mentally alert, so you're better able to do your job.
Hey, wait a minute. You must think I'm some kind of a bomb as a salesman.
Well, you've already admitted that you're not as good as you could be.
Oh, come on. I've got to get going. It's getting late.
Hey, you really do squirm when the heat's on.
Bobby, you can play hockey, but I can sell. Now, I can't skate my way across an ice cube, but I'll bet you couldn't sell that ice cube to a man dying of thirst.
Hey, wait a minute, Don. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be telling you how to sell.
Well, I guess I should be more impressed. I know you're considered one of the great stars of the game.
Oh, I don't consider myself a star. I do 1 or 2 things a little bit better than some of my opposition. I skate well, and I shoot well.
Well, isn't that the whole game?
Oh, not by a long shot. Now, take Bobby Orr, for instance. He does everything well. And yet, you know what? He's a team player.
Well, now, there's one idea that doesn't apply to salesmanship. When a salesman is in his territory, he's all by himself. Now, he either gets the job done or he doesn't get it done.
Oh, that sounds just like me those first few years I played. Grab that puck, hell-bent for election down that ice. Just me and the opposition goaltender.
Well, what happened?
I didn't get to first base. I had to learn to pass that puck off to my teammates. Race to get it back. Get in the clear to get a good, clean rip at that net. You don't mean to tell me that you don't have anyone else in your team while you're selling, do you?
Well, there's my boss.
And how about at the home office?
Yeah, well, we have backup people.
And how do you use these backup people?
Well, I guess I don't take advantage of all the help they can give me.
Couldn't these backup people look after a lot of the details so you could spend more time selling?
Sure. If I remember to communicate with them.
Oh, there you go. Just like me again, grabbing that puck and down the ice all by myself. Don, have you ever thought about this? If you didn't have any other help on your team, just how good would you be?
About as good as a little old corner shoemaker.
And you know he doesn't exist anymore. People don't realize that no matter what they do in life, they have to be a team player. We have to depend on each other, no matter what we do. And that's the important thing that your son's learning.
Dad, are we going home pretty soon? I'm getting hungry.
Relax, Willie. I'm talking to Mr. Hull.
Hey, Tommy, where's the candy machine?
Boy, look at this. It's terrific.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah,
This is all part of the facility.
Bobby, there are some good things that hockey teaches. Oh, what about some of the bad?
For instance?
Well, you look like you've taken some pretty good jolts.
Yeah, I have a few stitches.
Well, that's the thing that worries me about Tommy.
What are you going to do? Protect him all his life? Don, the first thing we learn as kids playing hockey is that you're going to get hurt. This is part of the game. But if these kids can accept that, then they're going to be able to accept all the little hurts and setbacks that they have throughout life. The things that you're not going to do anything about anyway. What do you want Tommy to be, a winner or a loser?
Well, I'll tell you, there are some things that bother me about hockey. Some of the things that I see on television. You guys get into an awful lot of fistfights. I don't want Tommy growing up thinking he can square off with somebody just because he gets bumped a little.
Well, I'm not going to uphold all this fighting you see on the ice. Yeah, sit down, Don. But I would like to say this much, that when people are involved, and when they have that spirit of winning, emotions run high.
Isn't that true of selling?
Well, somehow I don't see myself taking a swing at a purchasing agent. However, there are some who deserve it.
Yes, but you can harness that emotion, can't you? The same intensity goes into your job and the way you're selling. Emotions cause you to persist.
How do you define persistence?
It's a feeling deep inside. You never give up. You never stop trying. And you give that 110% of yourself in everything you do.
Persist.
Have you ever watched hockey, Don, very closely?
No, obviously not. Otherwise, I'd know more about it. What am I supposed to be watching here?
Oh, a number of things. People wanted to know how I felt after I scored my 500th goal and then my 600th. And you know, Don, I'm wondering how I'm going to feel if I happen to be able to score 700 or more.
Man, this is a fast game.
It sure is. And how can anyone just coast through a game that moves as quickly as this? Look it, there's one of my teammates out of position, and we missed the scoring opportunity.
What caused that?
Oh, it could be any number of the things that we talked about. Tell me, how do you feel when you lose a sale?
How many ways can you say rotten? Salesmen seem to feel the same after a lost sale. You're hurt. You know you blew it, but you're too busy feeling sorry for yourself to analyze why. Now, I'm going to start critiquing myself after each lost sale, so I can learn why it happens. Now, what's happening here?
Oh, I believe this was back in 1965 when I scored my 51st goal.
Is that some kind of a record?
Well, it was at that time. No one else had ever scored over 50, and I ended up that season with 58.
Is this more of the same?
No, this is in 1972 when I scored my 28th hat trick.
Hat trick? What in heaven's name is a hat trick?
Well, Don, that's when one individual scores 3 goals in any one particular game.
Well, why hat trick?
Well, there are a number of explanations. It's said that at one time the men patrons threw their fedoras onto the ice in appreciation after an individual had scored 3 goals. Another story has it that a haberdasher bought each player a fedora if he scored 3 goals in a game.
And who has the record for hat tricks in professional hockey? I don't even know why I asked that question.
You see, Don, you have as much going for you as I do for me. There's only that one difference. I'm a hockey player, you're a salesman. I reach the people through my talents, but you make their lives better and more useful with yours. How can you let one single day pass by without putting everything you have into selling?
That was quite a slap shot, Mr. Hall. Before I came over here, I lost a sale. One I shouldn't have lost. I hurt that buyer and his company by not convincing him.
Did it really hurt?
Sure. But I passed it off. I convinced myself once again, you win some, you lose some. You know, you may have thought you were talking about keeping my son in hockey, but everything you said was really talking about me. They call you the Golden Jet, don't they?
Well, only when we win.
Well, I can see why. Everyone considers you one of the greatest athletes in the world. You'd be good at anything, including sales. But boy, you really hit it on the head with me. I've got to stay out of that comfort zone. Do you know something? I put as much time and effort in my job whether I win or lose. And winning makes a heck of a lot more sense than losing.
Well, then what are you going to do about it?
Well, I've got to get it all together. My talent, my ambition, my experience. I'm going to spend a lot less time worrying about it and a lot more time doing.
Say, that sounds like you're really getting ready to pour it on.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to pour it on.
Hey, you've likely already missed dinner. There's just one more thing I want you to see.
Hey guys, settle down. All right, fellas. I've told you this before, but I want to repeat it. Men, in every sport, there are guys with loads of talent, but there are only few with the right mental attitude to put this talent to work. And no matter what else you learn through playing this game of hockey, this one thing you'll carry with you for the rest of your life. Now, I believe in 5 things. I have them right here in this easel. We talked about them before. I'm going to see how good your memories are. Okay, who knows the first one? Bill?
Prepare for the face-off.
Prepare for the face-off. And okay, what does that mean?
Concentrate.
Correct. A man has to mentally prepare himself for competition. Don, how does this apply to selling?
It would be the same thing, I guess. A salesman has to be sure he's got his fundamentals down. He has to know his product. He has to know his market. He has to keep making the sales calls. He has to be prepared to face off with his customer, just as you do in hockey.
You see, boys, this doesn't just apply to hockey. Okay, who knows the next one? Dan?
Keep up your power.
Keep up your power. And how does this apply?
Exercise to build up your muscles.
Right. A man in good physical condition keeps his mind sharp. Right, Don?
Every morning from now on, I promise.
All right. Number 3.
Be a team player.
Right. Be a team player. No one can do it alone, guys. Your real strength comes from building on the strength of your team. Don, we talked about that.
Yeah, it's about time I got on the team at my company.
All right, who knows the next one?
Persistence.
Right, and that one word can be the big difference between success and just rocking through life. If you're involved, and if you've concentrated, and if you refuse to give up, eventually you're going to be a winner. And there's only one way to achieve this, and that's by walking through life with that chin stuck out every foot of the way. And what about these little hockey hurts, fellas?
So everybody gets banged up once in a while, and when you win the game, the hurts don't hurt so much.
And if you lose, you just go out and persist all over again. Now, what's the last one? And this is the important one, Don. There are some people that can rise to their peak once in a while, but the real stars in this world are those that can pour it on day after day, year after year, throughout their entire life. And that's what this game of hockey is all about.
That's what life is all about. Tommy, listen. No, fathers aren't always right.
I didn't tell you that, but in the game today, I made a hat trick. You know what a hat trick is, don't you?
Yeah, I do now.
Well, Don, we keep him in the lineup?
Well, I don't see how we can keep him out. Well, you heard what Mr. House said. I'll promise to come to every game if you promise to pour it on. And I will, too. I think I might be able to do that hat trick.
Everybody out the ice. Way to go today. Hurry it up now. Way to go. Get it out the ice there.
Oh, Mr. Hall, my dad's here.
Oh, where is he? Hi, Dad.
Hi.
Hey, you should see that son of yours. Has he ever come along in the last few weeks?
Well, so have I, thanks to you.
That's
Yeah, I thought I was making it, but I'll tell you something. Now I'm really making it.
Ah, that's terrific.
Ed, I want to show you something.
What's that?
I made a hat trick today. 1, 2, 3 sales and 3 sales calls.
Well, let me tell you, anybody that makes a hat trick deserves a reward. Come out with me.
Wait a minute, where are we going? Wait.